today I were to write, as Lukotan and Lamini Zuma wrote in the year 2013, if today I were to write a letter to our founding fathers who died several years ago, this is how the letter would read. I would not name all of them, but I would name the following. I would say, Dear Kwame Nkrumah, dear Kambarage Nyerere, dear Patrice Emery Lumumba, dear Modibo Keita, dear Ahmed Sekou Touré, dear Thomas Sankara, dear Nelson Mandela. We are gathered here today in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on this 25th day of May 2019. And we are pretending to be discussing a new subject, but we are not. In fact, my dear fathers, we are discussing something that you discussed 56 years ago. And we are now recognizing that you warned us that if we did not unite, we will be conquered again. I am sadly reporting to you that we are being conquered again. We are being conquered again in the manner that you feared, and I'm now telling you that this time round our conquest is a little more subtle. I am telling you, Osagyefo, that now, although in 1961 you have created the University of Ghana at Legon, and you have also created the University of Science and Technology, in many African universities we are now accommodating Confucius institutes. Osagyefo, we do not know what they are going to teach there in 100 years' time. But for the moment, they tell us it's aid and that they like us. But Osagyefo, I agree with you, there is no free lunch. We are also sitting here today in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, the home of your brother, Julius Kambarage Nyerere. And we also are reminding ourselves that Nyerere came up with a philosophy called Ujamaa, which was self-reliance. We can now tell you that in substance, Mwalimu was right. But unfortunately, we are still importing things from Europe. We now have mobile phones, which you did not have when you were alive. But unfortunately, Mwalimu, those mobile phones, none of them is made in Africa. Last week, we saw an attempt by somebody to claim that one was made in Rwanda, but I suspect it was only assembled in Rwanda. Mwalimu, we are trying. I can also confirm to you that we have many political parties. In Congo, there are 233. But Congo is not at peace. In Tanzania, they don't have very many, but I can assure you CCM is still doing very well. But Tanzania is the exception rather than the rule. After every election, Mwalimu, we fight. In Kenya, we did it. Then we shake hands. Then we fight. Then we shake them again. We are in the business of shaking hands. In Central Africa, we are fighting. Our young men and women are drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. We now know you are right. And therefore, going forward, we are today taking a solemn vow that each one of us will use the resources at our disposal, and that we are going as a product of this conference to send a paper which will emanate out of Julius Kambarage Festival, which paper will be sent to the African Union. And that paper will tell the African Union that there is a sense of urgency. And it will not stop there. That paper will also be sent to all the 55 African heads of state, reminding them that there is need for Africa to trade with ourselves, that there is need for Africa that there is need for Africa to have one currency, that there is need for Africa to define ourselves. And so therefore, I remind you, I remember during your lifetime, you hosted both Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. And I am reminded that at one time he was asking his people in the United States of America how long it would take to unite Africa. We are now telling you that it's not too long. It is not going to be long, because young men and women are now telling us that we unite or we perish. So therefore, Mwalimu said, I would have written a longer letter, but I can now see that my audience wants to go for lunch. Permit me, therefore, to stop here in the knowledge that Pan-Africanism is alive and well, and Africa will realize our potential, even if it takes 100 years. God bless you.
God bless you. Good evening and welcome to today's edition of the RiverSide Talk. We are back today with some discussion, and would like to say thanks to Professor P.L. Lumumba, a very fine son of Africa, who is in the vanguard of calling for African unity. And as you listen very clearly, P.L. gave a speech back in May 2019 at the Tanzania University when he was called to do a lecture series. And the message is very clear. And I have a question. Because if you listen to what he said keenly, there are some key points. And from the beginning, he said, if I were to write a letter to the founding fathers, this is what I want to say. And he named a couple of them. And he even brought the issue of civil rights activists, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And when he asked a question, how long will it take to unite Africa? That is the questions that still lingers around today, and we hope answers will be given. How long will it take to unite Africa? How long will Africans be treated poorly because of their skin tone? How long? Well, we still want an answer from African leaders because they knew exactly what is happening, what is going on, where we stand, what can be done. How long will Africa regain herself? How long? The younger generation are calling for a unity of Africa. Will this hold? Every leader on the continent of Africa do things differently. We have dictators, we have developmentalists, and we have the progressive, and we also have the one who hand back to other people. And on all of them, there are a couple of them moving ahead with what they have to do in the fight of African unity, taking the stance on their own to say this is what we will do and this is what we're going to stand by. While the majority of them still, listen to the Western world. Let's go to Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim start a fight and some countries are joining him. The Sahara region. Now go to Namibia. That old man came to power and took drastic measures. Namibia is making a headway today. She vowed to return Namibia to Africans, and she's making it. While we sit there and listen to the Western world, while we sit there and when they call us for a meeting, we run and go there and go put ourselves into loan and a lot of debt, and then they control us. What they say is what we do. Our economics is in their hands. Let's take, for example, what is happening today between the Americans and that of the Iranians. We've been fighting. War has been going on in certain part of the African countries. Those wars never gain attention as to what is happening now. Their system is designed in a way that you and I, the Africans, the blacks, are overlooked, and we depend on them because we don't have a single, mechanisms in place for those things. We have the resources. Our resources is been taken out of our countries and then sent to the Western world. They developed their own countries while we still live poor. We are at the mercy of our leaders, our corrupt leaders. Every day their name falls into corruption pit. They have conquered us, and yet still we continue to bow down to them. When will the Africa unite? Go to Sunny County, Nima County. The OAU stands there today. That is the Organization of African Unity. When Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, along with the former Liberian president and that of Dr. Touré of Guinea, had a very first meeting, where that meeting was held. The monument that was built, go see how it looks today. We have deserted our history and decided to be at the mercy of the Western world. We depend on input. As the crisis deepens in the Middle East, it also affects economies globally. Africa. Well, on this note, we will continue to say the messages around here. Whoever leaders wants to listen will listen. Kudos to those ones that are listening and making an impact on the continent of Africa. Africans are suffering. Africans are treated badly. Africans are treated as outcasts in other lands. No matter how educated they are, no matter how sincere they are not considered, quote unquote, people that should be given the chance. Oh, Africa. Well, folks, once again, good evening and welcome. You know, there are a lot of things happening today in Liberia. This week has been one of the busiest weeks in Liberia. Every corner you turn to in Liberia, a lot of things happening. And let me say happy July 26th to Liberians. Imagine our age. Oh, the mother of Africa. We claim to be the mother of Africa. See us. The country that was once a small America, see how it looks today. We've allowed greed and self-interest into our space and have taken over Liberia. Politics, hate, who know you, you know who I am, have swallowed Liberia, and as it stands, with that age we have, the amount of time we have, we've given birth to a lot of African countries, but see how we look. Go to Burkina Faso. Go to Rwanda, that experienced a genocide in 1993. Go see them. Was that 93 or 90 something? Go see them. It has become the Dubai of Africa that everybody wants to go to Rwanda today. That's how Liberia was before. Everyone wants to go to Liberia, wants to enter Liberia and work because how Liberia was, how it was positioned. Go see us today. We have the populations, majority of our population goes to bed hungry. Majority of our population cannot even afford food to eat. Yes, we call ourselves the oldest country on the continent of Africa. However, happy Independence Day to all of us Liberians and to all of you guys. Happy Independence Day. I wish this day, this celebration will make us to sit and think about how we can develop our country and put aside this negative politics and embrace one another and move on for development. A lot of Liberians want to travel outside of Liberia and go to other countries, and I believe a lot of Liberians have traveled to other places, especially our leaders, especially those that controls power, have traveled, have seen other developed countries. They have seen how countries are developed, but yet still when they return to their homeland, they still go back to the same old thing. The money you taking to rush to those various countries, health facilities, tourists, and all of that, if that money is invested into Liberia, we will get there. But no, it's not. We will see the poor people will still be on the street begging, and they will still go to bed hungry. Their children don't have the school fees. They don't even have the school fees to go for their children to go to school. Yet still very few control powers and sit on the power, and then the poor remains poor. We celebrate July 26th. On 1847, we gain independence. 1847 up to now. Since the 14 years war, it has ended. We've passed that stage. We've crossed and have gotten to this point in 2026. What are we pointing at? What reflection are we having developmentally? Maybe the only thing we can reflect on is how chaotic our politics is, how divisive our politics is, how destructive our politics is, and how we have destroyed one another politically. That's the only thing I believe we can point at. But it is a message to all of us who claim to have loved that little country, that it's about time we sit and analyze and think about the nature of that country. We have the resources, but why can't we develop it? Do you think of it? And I always say, Liberia, development is all of us collective efforts. So let's join hands and move Liberia forward. Let's leave those politicians alone. The little one you can do, go ahead and do it. If God blesses you with something, develop the living space. Let's leave those guys alone. When we are not bothering them, they will learn their lesson. So happy July 26th to all Liberians. We wish you well as our celebration continues. Let's celebrate with peace, love, and unity. Matone say in all of your blood, yeah. Let me put in our Liberian way now. Matone say in all of your blood because it's not even on you. When on you, you will go take shower. In fact, you will go take buy and move on you. But Matone say in your blood. So now me was the foil. So that mean now the foil to tell you say Matone say on all of you. Before you can tell me, Matone say on your Matone say in your blood. Well, folks, Liberia is very interesting, though. That little country, very, very interesting. Well, as it was announced last week, Senator Samuel Gwen-Kogaha, began his July 26th celebration in District Number 4, specifically Bay Vongwi. He called all the Nigerians to gather there for the July 26th celebrations. It will kick off tomorrow. Arrival is today, kick off tomorrow, Sunday, which is the 26th itself. And there are a series of activities as we speak. The program, he and his entourage have arrived in Bailey for the July 26th celebration. And listen, I always say this. One thing we should understand with the two senators we have, they have the style in which they do their politics is quite different. If you look at Twah, Nya is the diplomatic one. He do a one thing in a diplomatic way. When you look at the cougar, that man I got no break. That man I got no break that it listening to Johnson. So if you think say that man come and do your diplomatic thing, forget it. The way enter, the way that man was talking. So you just have that 1 year man today and never think that you dealing with diplomat. I'm not saying he's not a diplomatic man, but the way in which you expect him to do his politics, that's not how,
Takes more.
Well, good evening. Welcome to the show, Honorable Man. My man started stepping from the back there. Franklin, welcome. Are you hearing me, Franklin? Welcome to the show. Man, you and your network.
Yeah, thank you. I'm hearing you, but the internet is like cracking again. That's what.
You and your network, eh?
Thank you so much. You getting me, Claire?
Yes. I'm getting you. Go ahead. Oh boy. LRB, man. These are things that can really get to my soul. I'm hearing you. Go ahead. I'm hearing you.
I said thank you. Are you getting me now?
Yes.
Are you getting me? Yeah.
I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
I'm talking. Okay. Thank you for the show tonight, and it's good to be here and discuss issues that we all.
Well, folks, he's trying to set up his network is giving problem. Once it's okay.
Are you getting me clear now?
Yes, go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead. Well, folks, it is the network problem. That was Mr. Mammon, Tim Mammon. He will join us here by. Yeah, so like I was saying, the way in which we expect those two to behave is quite different. And for the way I have studied the both of them, Yam's style of politicking is the diplomatic style. But with Senator Koga, his style is quite different. It's quite different. Okay, go ahead. Franklin, go ahead. You are muted. Okay, there you go.
All right, it's good to be. Yeah, it's good to be here tonight, and we are hoping that we will be able to get a very good show to be able to discuss some issues that we want to be able to work on in our country and the larger society for us to be a very civilized society. Thank you.
Yeah, for us to be a very civilized society, but are we working towards the civilization? Or we are just, on a continuum embezzlement, corruptions, and who I am, everything is still in the making. Well, that is the intent of all of us to have a very good show, and we hope we will. But the question lingers is, are we willing? So, and like I was saying, the July 26th celebration has kicked off, and Senator Koga is calling all the Mbaians to Bay Vomwe for the celebration. He and his team have arrived in Bailey. But, and what I was saying to Darlene is that if you look at the two senators we have from Nimba, their style of politics is different. Yang Twah is the diplomatic guy. He does his politics in a diplomatic way. Senator Koga, the no-go zone. You give it to me, I give it to you. That means we're not by his tone when it comes to saying the truth and what he wants to say. So we should know that even the late Senator Johnson, that baby, he never care. You do it, he'll tell you right there, this is how it is. You go, anything you do, and talking. So at this point, I don't expect people to say, oh, Koga is it. Koga, he's a vocal presence. He speaks his mind, and that's how his politics has been all through. So let us not, mess up things. Happy July 26th, and let me say welcome to one of our energetic man who has been away. By the way, on behalf of this platform, I want to say our condolences to you now. It's been a while, and where you were, there was no network for us to talk. So welcome to the show, and our condolences to you and the family.
Okay, thank you. Just want to thank God that I'm back.
Yeah, thank God that you're back. Well, I've been seeing you for a while, but at least thank God you're back. Well, folks, welcome to today's edition. And as I said, I started with the discussion earlier. We will be, talking about the happiness in Liberia, and which has to do with this, the whole issue of this drugs saga, the one I was just, confiscated over, in fact, this week. Now, we talk about this issue here as it relates to the drugs. As you all may be aware, the LDA, and in fact, the entire Joint Security, busted a drugs, worth over 300+ million, and they are foreign national. That case is ongoing, and as of yesterday, the Liberia National Police relieved one of its own, the 106. He was relieved based on investigation that is ongoing, and according to what I am told, he was bribed with $10,000 to interfere with the case, but not in connection of the drugs. So that's two things right there. Because the mixed reaction going on is that with the drugs. No. The issue is those guys were apprehended and they are in the custody of the police, but then he was brought to interfere. His coming into the picture is based on his position to interfere with the case. So let's get that right. So that other issue broke out yesterday, and as it stands, 106 is not office now. He was relieved yesterday. It was Gregory Coleman that brought the news. And that brings me to the discussion here tonight. Over the past, I've been talking about the fight against the drugs. We have said it here over and over. The fight against the drugs, it is not, a today thing. It's not an easy task. It is a continuing process that requires all of us collective effort. And our integrity matters a lot when we're doing things. In your position, you live and leave a legacy for tomorrow. Now, as of this day, there are other people, senior security personnel, whose name have also been, involved into this whole drug saga, along with even foreign exchange bureau entity, and all name has been called into this whole thing. So this is not a small case, and this is not a case to overlook either, because and according to, I'm trying to trace that news outlet to authenticate that information, which has to do with those two foreign nationals who claim from Colombia. Colombia embassy said they don't have record of them unless they show their passport. So, as it stands, whether they are true Colombians, we don't know. But all we know, they are not Liberians, they are not Ghanaians, they are foreigners. They are not Nigerians either, but they are foreigners. So let's hear you, Mr. Franklin Miamin. What is your take? And then after that, we'll go to Ambassador Namu Miamin. Frank, are you still around?
I think he's muted.
We can't still hear you.
What?
There you go.
Yeah. What we continue to say is corruption in our country is very much a problem that is in every sector. The corruption in police, as we are witnessing or recent, and what people have been saying, is glaring. Even at the national headquarters where people get police clearance, if you go there, you see that people jumping up and down, people corrupting, getting money from people, especially when you say you want to get it done right away or within 2 days. It becomes serious issue. But for this, case, it is still no something that we are thinking or we are worrying about. When it comes to the handling of the case, you could see that the people were just arrested. The people were just arrested, and you see people going to go take money from them. I was discussing that with other people, and I said, how can that be? Especially where you are saying the issue is in the press, and you are saying that both local and international people, they are monitoring it to the letter. Then you were brave enough to go take money and compromise the issue. I don't think this was something that he really did his judgment. And the explanation, what I was reading from the local daily online today, from Yeke Koluba and other people's reactions, people are saying that he said it was his boss, the inspector general, that sent him to collect the money. And he said that according to people, the inspector general gave him 2,000 out of the money. And he himself too say again, he took the 8,000 and get the inspector general 2,000. Two conflicting information right there. So how can we come out to balance this information? Was he sent by the inspector general, or he did it because of his own doing? And if it is because of his own doing, we will still say he did not act well. He did not judge himself well, and he did not think what the public would say. Because I cannot be investigating issue where people follow it from all angles. Then you just call me to get something and then compromise it or to give you some comfort, maybe not to treat you bad or maybe to allow you leave the country. He didn't really do well. And if we continue to do it like this, then the drug issue in our country will not go well. And to a point, let me appreciate the joint security for the job well done because people are continually saying Liberia has become a drug transit point and international people will have issue with us, a problem with us. But I also continue to tell them that if even BBC report it, like what I read from BBC page.
Network. Now let's hear your thoughts.
Okay, this whole drugs issue here is becoming something in Liberia that especially security need to be careful of because this is one of the issue that even outside of people that are out of Liberia can keenly look at. Handling this issue, it should be carefully taken care of because issue that international TVs and other people looking at, you don't just do it. I mean, even despite of handling it, we need our security and other people need to stop this thing, the whole thing they call corruption, because it will not even help anybody. It won't help anybody. Things like cocaine, just like that, accepting bribery for someone to release them. Why really is the intent? Are you really trying to enrich yourself or you trying to uh do what? Because now you're trying to enrich yourself, then the other people that will be taking the drugs in now they will be damaged. Yeah, so we people really need to carefully handle this issue. At least let step be taken against people that are bringing these things. Then people be afraid because not the first time, not the second time. Okay, just I think last month or just I think last month they catch another drugs from they put there, and then there's another issue. Why it continue happening? It continue happening because it's not carefully handled.
So the thing is, and I always say, when it comes to the cartels that into this drugs business, right? Is for I would say for us Liberians, we are fortunate enough to have not been closer to those cartels area. But it is a very well connected and calculated people that handles that business. Those guys, the business is, we're talking about millions that they deal with. They are very much connected. And they use cash to influence people to get their way through. Because looking at it technically, that drugs did not come in a country. If a thorough investigation has been carried out, they will realize that there's a manufacturer machine. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's there. But if actually it came into the country, how did the drugs enter the country? Because we have airport right there. And that has been my call always. Let's have a airport, at least put it in your budget and have those K9 doctrine and be at the airport. Expand. Let people not pick up people bags from the airport. If you are not an airport worker, because airports should have a worker. Even if you are an airport worker, you are not authorized to pick somebody else's bag. Unless, let's say you flew with an airline and your bag maybe was delayed, or maybe your bag came ahead and you yourself flight was delayed, because there are instances that those things occur. If you are in those situations, yes, airline can come and pick your bag. But while you're on the same flight, you arrived, you're trying to get out to pick your bag, but then when you come, you realize that your bag has been picked up already. It's been lined up, people waiting so that they will push it out for you. Those things are not done at any serious airport, because it is a point where you realize that people interfere. People interfere, you know, if somebody is coming through. So we are kind of like vulnerable at that airport, so people can make their way through. Because the thing is, if you get to the airport, everybody wants lating. Somebody who's sitting there asking you for lating to drink water, and this person, you tell the person, say, hey, let my bag go. Yeah, maybe $1,000 USD here. You think that person will say no? If the person don't have a conscious enough to say, this is not what I'm here for, that person will not tell you no. They will take it and let it back go. So that's why I always say, it's like, to me, in my understanding, I'm 100%, I'm believing that that is being produced right there and was trying to exit out of the country.
Yeah, so that number one issue there, because at the airport, these are places that security need to be very, very careful of, because you receiving a lot of people traveler from different places. You don't know what in their mind, you don't know what they bring in. So there's the number one place people need to carefully take care of, that they really need to century and security. You know, one thing again, uh people are not really satisfied with what they are getting. I think that's why bringing all of these things. People are not
Yeah,
really satisfied of what they are getting, because now if I'm not satisfied with my pay, and then someone asks, oh, I'll give you this, allow my bed to go, you know, the number one thing where they will first think of how much they're making. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, all
So yeah,
Nigeria.
that's
So
why
that's a
we,
whole issue, continuing.
and I get your point, and that's another issue there. And my thing, if they, instead of focusing or putting more money into government officials cover, I think we should put more money into our securities. Because let's say if a security personnel is
Yeah.
making below $100 or even $100, and this person got a fee and other things, the money they've been paid is not even
Mm-hmm.
enough. Every country, the security of every country is something that is looked at carefully, because if you're not careful to strengthen your security sector can be easily leaked, can
Yeah.
be easily manipulated. The entry points, all the various entry points, be it airport, seaport, you know, port of entry, where we have, remember, we are situated among Liberia is situated between three countries,
Two
Sierra
countries.
Leone, Guinea, and Ivory Coast. And we have like farm road, we all cross and interact with one another. Connection, you get the other farm person farm closer to Ivory Coast, you pass there, go to Dogwatu. From Dogwatu,
Yeah.
you get to Ivory Coast, go to Yikepa, from Blodewi, all those places,
Mm.
from I know an area in San Nicolas, St. John, Upper St. John, you go to those villages, you cross. I used to go all the way to Guinea, to go closer to Guinea, to go vaccinate over there. So there are common border points that people can pass through easily. So if our border points are secure, we have securities to those places that they are well taken care of, the rate will go down. Though there is still bad element as to what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Because the whole issue of you are a whole deputy commissioner here. And then this is been, you've been implicated into things. That shows that there is more, because I remember either doing a tenure of Josh Weir or can't remember exactly. There was 100, I think it was 100 million or something case, 100,000 or so drugs case that those guys were acquitted. And the movement they acquitted those guys, when they came out of prison, you know what happened? They left the country. They immediately left the country. So this, for the past 2 months, I would say, the seizure that have occurred in Liberia were the largest ever in Liberia history, especially this 300 plus million worth of goods that was confiscated. 300 million?
Look,
Damn.
just
You know,
Yes,
it's
it did.
quite frustrating. On a serious note, it's quite frustrating that we are still talking about people that we think can make a difference have been, you know, linked to things that will bring negative image. It is an investigation. Let's wait and see how it unfolds, especially with the involvement of the person that was relieved yesterday, the 106, because I think Liberia government should, you know, start taking a serious measure. When we start jailing people for a long time for drugs, the importers, and take our the consumers to a rehab facility and rehabilitate them, it will be a greatest help. But over the past, it has been the opposite. The victims are the people that will go after and leave the main door, because if it is not available, they won't take it in. But it is available because, like I said, the business is well connected. The business is well calculated, well planned. There are people with connections, and money speaks. Money speaks. So it is not an easy task for that network. But Liberia is still vulnerable, that they think they can penetrate and go. And that's why we kept seeing this amount of influx. And I'm not sure, maybe we still have some around the corner.
Yeah, it just like this one notice. It's just like people notice this one, but even if you check it up, people will easily enter with a lot of it that people won't know, because we see people being victim of these drugs. So if it is not in the country, we won't see anybody smoking around. But we see people every day. We see people. So it shows that it is a clear manifestation that it's entering. It's actually entering. So we should know that despite not just this one, it's just like you gotta notice this one, or people saw this one, and in fact they're trying to do it like this, but a lot of it will enter on cover, and we will not notice it, and will just be around, and people keep being damaged, being victim of it.
Yeah. A lot of it will enter because we still have open borders. We still have common entry points. Those fine roads that are connected to those border lines is still vulnerable. People can cross there and enter whatever they want to do and go back. So we will have those instances because we are not fully secure. We'll have them. And the great America today still struggle with this drug thing, because drugs, it's a very fast money thing that those involved into it always do it, because the money, they believe that once you are not caught, it's a good business. It's a very fast money. So they are into it fully, especially like the cartels, the networks. It's well connected when like those one that got arrested in Liberia. They are not just the only people. It's a connection. The key to
Mm-hmm.
operate, and then when they return, they are returning with riches. While the ordinary people take it in, and then they face the consequences. So corruption, and the corruption is not only with the government officials. We say the government officials are corrupt. They are corrupt, no doubt about it. But if you have been taxed with a specific tax to do, or if you occupy a specific position, it's quite important that you occupy that position with sincerity. Live
Yeah.
in a position that, and remember that tomorrow exists. When you leave office, your legacy remains. Other people will say, yes, when this person was here, this is what happened.
Yeah,
So,
our people doesn't even think of that because people just feel this security and this, and even the first intention they can be having to carry there is, okay, I'm now a security, is my turn now to eat, because people say like bro, government account me. So if you enter there, me say that elephant me, you get finished, you eat your own part. So these are intention people have, and then they will enter into the office. If you enter into security sector with that kind of a mind, how will you perform your task? Number one, if they say if your duty is to protect or not to allow drugs to enter, and then you say it's my time, adding corruption to your position, or your you being security, adding corruption, how will you really perform your duty? You won't perform it because number one, the thing you are not to do is the one you'll be doing. The thing you are not to allow after, glaring to see them coming. So for this reason, it will become it is very difficult. So the government actually, actually government need to see reason as to strategies strategies that will put in place, that at least this thing will stop, because like people can just pass on my farm, get people can pass Yola, get Duomple, get Ivory Coast, and then these people get money. How long to connect with people? They just say that Coco Bear, they put in big something, they pass away. So we also looking at this, but of then the key target be low entry, the port of entry. Then they really put a strategy together that will, because usually if I go to the border, I always see the DA will stop those buses, empty them, check in bags. It's not really a modern life security. The modern life security not really need to do this, because checking back, who putting drugs in suitcase now? People don't really do it and travel with it on bus because they know security are there. But at least if there will be a machine that maybe the DA will be having it, that if they will put it on this car, they will know it will be better. But checking like you got 150 human being or 300 human being on one bus, when you check all of their suitcase. So it
yes,
is
when
very,
you will
very,
check all of them, it's quite frustrating. Franklin, you posted something here, so let's hear you.
Yeah, I just made a comment that we need to fight drugs and corruption in our country at all costs, because these two work together. Corruption destroys the society. You see that because of corruption, we don't have rule. We don't have better, are not learning something well. Then drugs, it's also almost the same. But drugs, you see, our children won't go to school because if you get out there and see them taking in drugs, the one that's sleeping with their heads, they way to go to school and to even go and work and earn money for themselves. They become useless in society. They only go out now to watch for people or to do something that they will get something right away and go buy another thing and take in. And drugs will make it that
Your line is bad, Frank.
the next generation
All right, folks. Welcome to Twah River platform. Our discussion point is about the drugs and the
will be damaged. We will not have a better generation if we continue to mix corruption and drugs together. And if you're in jail, before you know, you just take that and your life
Frank. Well, Franklin is having a difficulty with his internet. We hope Wi-Fi will be good for him to join us again. Yeah, so you know that little country is sorely blessed with a lot of natural resources, but the way in which we are handling the resources is what causing the problem. And we talk about corruption every single day in Liberia. Corruption actually exists in Liberia and everywhere around the world. But if you are opportune to be in a space where you have authority, do not use the power you have, to do what is not right. Until we start taking a very drastic and very strong measures against corruption. Because one of the things here is that if you have been assigned somewhere and then you are there, accepting bribe, that does not speak your characters well. And that's the issue the Liberian people have with the Liberian National Police. Liberian National Police is always accused of being corrupt, always accused of people practicing corruption. But now this other one is another testament that yes, indeed, corruption is there. It is a testament. Because the thing here is, the article like the police people, they corrupt, the policemen are corrupt. Why? Because it stands on the street and take $5 from people. They will impose some kind of crooked law or something that does not exist just to get money from passengers. And that also boils down to the responsibility of the government of increasing those people's salary so that there will be a changes in what they do. Even though there will still be an element who does not value, who will always complain no matter what the changes comes with. So it is all of us collective effort. It is something that all of us can do Not one person. Because the drugs we're talking about over 300 million, 300 plus million. We're talking about. You know what our million can do? That is not small money. That is not. And my recommendation to the Liberian Airport authorities. I know y'all got your planes, but equally so, let's do something to bring back, you know, the image of Liberia to limelight. Let's start to people picking. We are people coming in to hustle, quote unquote. They standing back, people, travelers bag, picking out that your bag, yeah, they will pick it from there and then put it on cap. That's why you will get something at the end of the day. And I think it's also important that, you know, if the workers, companies that are responsible for uploading plane and this and that, you know, it's quite frustrating. Go and train people outside. Train the K9 door and train a special carer of the K9 door and bring them into the country. And be a son at that airport. They'll do a very awesome job. Now we have dogs that can detect and smell. It will be a very awesome one. But that is not the case. So the issue of drugs is all of us Liberians, our responsibility, not no one person. Let's take a very brief music, and then after that, we will get to our next discussion point.
Are you letting record sweet sound? I come to tell mama, ya no see, no way I can meet that. Eh, me can no ka yenda babo. Na one don't yam. Na one don't yam. Eh, na one don't yam. Me can no ka wo mama go kwa. Na one don't yam. Puno mama banu kwa makale kupia. Para wa boya ka kwa wa. Na one don't yam. Na one don't yam. Wala mo se yo. Ewara mo se talo bua baba ne. Ewara mo se peno bua baba mama. Me kane na une don yam. Na une don yam. Na une don yam. Me ka yene ka bua baba we ni ba we to no bua baba. Na ye bebe don ye dole. Hala de banga ko te pe ma bawo. We ka si kwen wo die ka ma. Na une don yam.
Yes, indeed, no one don't I don't know. I don't know. I need to learn the meaning of this song. But welcome back, folks. It's the Twah River platform. We are here. And we will continue to talk it when it happens. We say it the way it is. That brings us to our next discussion point here tonight that has to do with the saga of the Liberia House of Records. You know, I think 2 or 3 months ago, Honorable Yeke Yakpawolo Koluba was expelled from the house and sent his expulsion up to now, though they are still in court, but up to now, District Number 10, Monserrate County still is not being represented. But what is more interesting about our case is that Honorable Koluba's name still on the wall. His office is still on his wall over there. It has not been removed. It has not been changed. Maybe they're probably waiting on the judge, the Supreme Court ruling And on top of that, just as of yesterday, Yeke was asked, and then he said, if peradventure his seat becomes vacant, you'll recontest. Now, that's two things we're going to be looking at here. The issue of him recontesting his seat and the length of time it has taken so far for that seat to still be declared. Up to now, the seat has not still been declared vacant. That brings the question to mind as to whether something else is going on behind the scene or what is happening.
Yeah, so actually everyone around now are even getting shocked of that whole district number 10 seat, because you can expel someone from for that length of time, and then the seat is not vacant. You're not putting out vacant for election commission to say, oh, we'll carry election on so and so time. So what becomes of his salary? What
No,
becomes, because
don't go to the salary part. All right. The actual thing here is that the people of district number 10, Monserrato, they are not being represented. Their seats, it is now there's no representation of them, and that is to me that is infringement on their rights, because as it stands, they don't have input, they don't have development going into their communities, because the lawmaker that was there is his seat is still hanging imbalance. Supreme Court is here to come up with the ruling, but yet still the term has been the time gap. We're talking about, I think Yaka was expelled some part of May or so.
Some May or April.
Yeah, and then up to now, that seat still vacant. But it is quite frustrating to know that, and I don't know how actually I could describe it, but it's kind of weird that if you look at this whole thing, there's no here, no tail. Let me put it out.
Yeah.
Because I know if you expel somebody, there is a length of time that you need to file with the National Elections Commission, and there's an empty seat. Let's take, for example, the issue of the seat with Timber County Senator. When he passed on to glory, before the stipulated time, Senate informed the NEC that, hey, there's a vacant seat in the Senate. The Senate went ahead to conduct election in the that brought Koga on board. Now the House of Reps, they were in turmoil. Funati left the Senate, their speaker seat. Kuhn takes over. Up to now, in Kuhn regime, so far, I think the best achievement has been, quote unquote, the expulsion of Yake Koluwa. But the people of district number 10 are yet to benefit of to get a fair share of the Liberian cake, because their lawmaker is not there. And even on top of that, the seat has not still been declared vacant. On top of that, Yake Yakpawolo office still carry his name. There is still things that we need to that needs to be addressed, that needs to be looked at technically from behind the scene as to whether something else is ongoing or what is actually happening when it comes to that whole Yake case.
It really need to be addressed, because it have taken a long time now. It have taken a long time now that the people, they are also Liberians. Yeah, they are also Liberians, and they need 100% of their share. So you can't expect that their seat, you can't expect them not to be represented for that length of time. Why? At least by I think by this time we're supposed to know the name of the representative of district number 10, because after you expel him, put out vacancy, and then the election commission go announce election, then people are going to election. All right, the person is not deserved to be a representative, and you expel him. You're not expelling the whole a district. You're not expelling a district. Only him you expelling from from being representative. So if you expel him, produce call for election, and then they bring different person. There are a lot of people willing to become representative for that district. So if you don't want, if he can't be there, why the next person get it over? So it's bad. And district number 10, I don't know why they are also keeping silent, because without even getting anything from them, with they
They are
are
not
keeping
keeping silent,
silent.
though. They are not keeping silent. They're speaking. But the only thing is, they have not taken protests and anything, but they're speaking. They've been speaking about it. Some residents have voiced out the concern as to why they are not being represented and yet and so forth. But the actual reality is that that seat, there is something going on behind the scene. And like I said, as of yesterday, Honorable Kolba was asked question. He appeared on the show. He said if the seat becomes vacant, he will still recontest.
Yeah.
So now, if you can recontest, is he that popular again to come back to power? Will he not have a lot of oppositions? Because the thing is, they will say, "Oh, you were there. We gave you 1.5 term. You were there. You were causing this person. You were causing that. You were doing this, doing that. They expel you." Or his opponent will say, "Oh, that man not serious. The man that got expelled, he won't come contest for the same seat." You know, weighing two options here. But he has said he will contest if the seat becomes available. What's your take?
It'll be something that we'll rather say to win this, because that's politics. That's politics. You know, politician, one small thing, people can really look at it. Yeah, small thing people will actually look at. Then something like an issue like expulsion, for you to be expelled and go back. Let me say expel, for you to be expelled and go back to vie for that same position. I mean, for me, people really say a lot of about him. Actually, not if even if the citizens still love him, but his opponent, people that will be running against him, will say a lot of things about him that will make him to look bad. So in that case, if he say he's going to run for that position, actually, for me, it'll be difficult for him, because number one, there'll be a lot of critics criticizing him. Many things they'll criticize him on many things, and for that reason, you know, it's Liberians now. Liberian, we are quick to be convinced. So now, you get he will not really be having that momentum in the first place. You not really be having that momentum.
No, don't overlook Yeke. You know what? You know how Yeke get into power. Yeke have a very strong base, which are the market women. Oral market. Yeke got a strong base. Now, the thing about politics is that even the Liberian politics is not a clean politics in the sense that people don't discuss issue, but they discuss personality with insult and everything. So that one, if anybody is getting to Liberian politics, he or she already knows that I need to put on thick skin. Because your skin is not thick like myself, you got a very thin skin, then definitely you will encounter such a problem because the journalists or whoever interact with you, they are already rude. Let me say, excuse me, let me say that way. But then with Yeket, with his base, somebody here mic me sometime back and said, if the seat is available, the same people that Yeke had will want him to recontest that seat. And honestly, we hope to see that come to pass. Let's see how he will go, what he will do, or if he wins the election at the end of the day. But, and I think since this whole saga, he has not been hosting live podcasts. He only does interview. We have not seen him sometimes talking, but then he does and here and there. So we are hoping that this will be a different case if he contests. We're hoping to see the other one that's going to happen if you actually contest.
It will really be a game to winners because many people will be interested in it. Many people will be interested because you know what I mean, for you to be expelled and then to come back, it will actually take people attention. Yeah,
it will take attention. And it will be another historic moment where a lawmaker was expelled from a house that he worked at before, and he retained that seat through election again, returning back as a newly elected lawmaker. It will be that history. We stand to see how that history will go because, like I said, a lot of people want to talk about it.
And then one thing I look at again, how will the working relationship be again? You see, because
listen, Yeke is just Yeke. Yeke will not change. That's how his politics is, and that is his base. So if you think that Yeke will, probably if he wins, he will change, I doubt it. It won't work, and that's not going to happen. It won't.
Because for Yeke that we know to be expelled, right? To be expelled, and then to win again, it will be something that Liberia will really because Yeke, we know Yeke already, right? We know him. He's a kind of person that speaks out anytime. He speaks out anytime, and then he's not just afraid of anyone. He's not just afraid of anyone. So for Yeke to be expelled, yes, we know he was expelled. For him to be expelled and come back, become representative in the same government, it will actually be a history, and people will really see it to be something because number one, the working relationship now, looking at it, how will he be moving with because it wasn't everyone that signed the people to expel him. How will he be working with the other people because he knew everyone that signed against him? How will he work with them? How will things move between them? It will be something difficult.
That is politics. Though. Politics, you see, so it's bad. Don't be surprised if Yeke wins the seat. Don't be surprised to see Yeke laughing with a very same guy. But mind you, if anybody step on his toes, I think he will be about. That's the time he will speak up. And that's why he's noted for. Well, that takes us to the next point, which has to do with District Number 4 Sporting Arena. You know, our district league, Nima County League, our district league is starting next Saturday on the 1st. And a lot of districts, couple of districts have gone to work, selected their head coach, public relations, and you name it. But as for us, I stand to be corrected. David Tan, I saw a post on David Tan page. I'm trying to get it, but I'm using a phone and I can't get it from the start. But David Tan posted something that the coach from last season was still maintained. And according to information I gathered, the team is doing justification in beta grade. So you just came from the district. How is the momentum when it comes to the district number 4 league? And did anybody leave from Yola to go, or is Yola participating in that league?
Actually, I've not seen someone from my phone. My phone is running out of current.
No, if you have an issue with your phone, that's fine. You go and have it charged. So, folks, as it stands, what I was saying is that district number 4, sporting team they were doing justifications, and the head coach was still maintained from last season. And I believe they still maintain the same team, which David Tan, I think he's a public relation also. But with the changes that they abrupt changes into the whole schedule, and what I want to say about it is that I think it was best for the organizers to inform the public earlier on as to what they were going to do when it comes to all right, go ahead.
Okay, so we are fighting hard. The internet is a serious problem ringing all in our area. However, so we continue to say that those who are taking money from corporates that are bringing drugs in our country, we need to look for them through the securities and even community dwellers that have information about these people. They should give this information to authorities so they can be arrested. And all of us can try to minimize the importation or the transiting of drugs in our country. So as I was saying, we have to appreciate our government for fighting drugs to the fullest. Because if the political will were not there, we won't have people arresting people around here. And people continue to say, if other countries are hearing about Liberia drug bust, they will not have interest or trust in the government. But I said, no, arresting is a good sign. While it is true that Liberia is being used as a transfer for drugs, the arrests that are made within short time within this government will give the international people the confidence that Liberia is ready to get drugs out of the country. And even within the sub-region, we hear a reason that other drugs were arrested in other countries. So if we can take the action in our hands through the law and fight drugs, it will help. And the nationals that you were talking about today or tonight, one of them hold a dual passport, which has to do with the Spanish and the Spanish, and it is Serbian. So I mean Colombian. Then the other guy is a Serbian guy. So one person has Spanish passport and has Colombia passport. So if we have these people in our society, we need to see how best we can get rid of them, and we should punish them and let them feel the weight of our law. How will you alone be having two passports and people don't know that? In fact, the consulate general in Liberia from Colombia, he said he doesn't even know this guy. There is no record about him. So how did he get here? And you cannot blame
He does not even
the
know this guy.
consulate because
Are you there, Frank?
the witness within the system to ride on and just go scot-free. But if we can really stand our ground and make Liberia to be a very powerful country within the region, people will not be able to use the area to carry their drugs around. So if you are saying taking drugs from Liberia to Europe, how will you European look at you? The European market? I already have problem with products that
All right, well, folks, welcome to the Twah River platform. We are having conversation about Liberia in general, our security apparatus, or our security sectors, and the drug saga in Liberia. You know, this whole thing, what baffles me when it comes to the drugs issue is that the very same people that were in authority and things were happening right under their nose that they didn't care to speak are the people now that will come out or that are coming out, excuse me, to spill out rubbish. I'm talking about someone like Avin Wiset. I saw a brief clip from him where he was giving a press statement, and then he said the government has become a drugs cartel exiting point. But this is an individual that were in office. He and Moses Akara been posting back to back this few days about this whole drugs thing. Nobody saying drugs coming in the country is right, it's wrong. But these are people that were in power and they have the power right under their feet. They have the authority, but they didn't use the authority the right way. They used the authority to suppress people. Then he's the same person that is talking today that the Liberian government have become, quote unquote, a site for transport. Now, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So you can give your parting comments and then from there, we will call it a day today.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say a big thanks to the Almighty God who has made it possible for us to meet again, and to our followers, our fans. We would like to say thank you. Keep following Riverside Talk for more and more happiness in and around our surrounding. So, to everyone, thank you for following us. We hope to do more and more for you. Thank you.
All right. So before you leave, the issue of the district number 14, have you heard anything of such? Because I know the vetting should go across the district where people from, I don't know whether the district they are vetting went across or they just selected whoever they want to.
Of recent, we haven't really hear from the team. Only the only thing I heard was the assistant coach. Yeah, he was the one. He has a team. His name is Yvon, and he was the coach for Kanhai and Cambly Inland Academy last academic. Yeah, so means this one I think that was selected as the assistant coach this year. And he haven't really give us detail as the standing point for the team right now, but he was just appreciating uh, the uh, the hair for selecting him as the assistant coach. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know this is a time that we need to do more publicity when it comes to our team and know where we are with things, where we stand, and so forth. So it is indeed a good thing to have you here tonight. We have not seen your live video in a couple days. We understand why, but let's resume. Good time having you here tonight. Go ahead and got things going. Go ahead and leave.
Okay. Good night. Uh,
Well, folks, that is it here tonight. We want to say thank you to all of you that join us, listen to our show. Um, let's take care of Lumumba, and then after that, we will call it a day again and leave.
Want to run and because Sana Glamini Duma wrote in the year 2013. Then I want to write 20 years ago. This is how the letter would be. I would not name all of them, but I would name the following. I would say, Dear Lukuru, Dear Kambanagere, Dear Patricia Lumumba, Dear Modibo Keita, Dear Ahmed Sekou Toure, Dear Thomas Sankara, dear Nelson Risas Mandela. We are gathered here today in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on this 25th day of May 2019. And we are pretending to be discussing a new subject, but we are not.
We are pretending to be discussing a new subject, but we are not. We are not discussing a new subject because we're still doing the same old thing. In Liberia, we shake hands with drugs and we leave. In Liberia, we embezzle and we go scot-free. And that brings the question to mind as to whether when will Liberians people see the economic and war crimes court. Economics and war crimes court became the hottest part of elections before 2023 general and presidential elections. People who were very vocal have all gone quiet. People who threaten other people with the war and economic crimes court has become silent. And that makes me to wonder if and only the case the court was being mentioned just for one single person, the late godfather of Nima, Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. Apparent Darius DeLong, the guy that I supported, was one of the vocal voice behind the War and Economic Crimes Group. We have not heard from him since then. Since the passing on to glory of the late senator, nobody have ever brought up the issue of war and economic crimes. Embezzlement has become the order of the day. Corruption is all over. The ordinary Liberians go to bed without food, and yet we sit and say, Liberia. Yes, we are proud to celebrate our Independence Day. Is our citizen okay with all the resources we have? We prefer to take brown envelope on his side and let other people get their way and not thinking about the ordinary people that will take their time and stand under the rain and sun to go and put their vote for you. We're not thinking about them. We only think about them when the time is right for election. We go to them and become friends with them. Oh, Liberia. We celebrate July 26, from 1847 up to now. From 2000 up to now. From 2006, that was the time we went to democratic process. From 2006 up to now, still the same. Oh, Liberia. What can we point out and say since our existence? Go see the infrastructure we have in Monrovia. Is that how it should be? Go see our healthcare centers. Is that how it should be? Go see our schools, our education sector. Go see how it looks. Is that how it should be? Yes, still we sit and think that Liberia, we still got work to do. There is still more work to be done in Liberia. And I believe that one day things will turn out to be good for Liberia. But that change, it requires us to take a drastic step towards that change, because I always say if we miss it during our time, the people after all thinking that they will get it, they won't get it because we missed that mark. We have missed that privilege. Well, folks, until we stop corruption, until we embrace Liberia as our home and our little home, the one that we own, the one that we suffer for, the one that we stood under the sun and rain to cast our vote, until we think that way, we ain't going nowhere with Liberia. Until you and I can sit and think and say, yes, this is my place, I will have to hold this as my place and make it the way I want it to be. Let's leave those politicians, Liberians. Let's leave them alone. We've depended on them for so long, and based on that, they think that our life depends on them. Let's begin to take a different measure for ourselves. Because if you're not going to them to stand at their door early in the morning for you to be insulted by people who should not even be talking to you. But yet, we're still there. My fellow Liberians, on this note, I'd like to say thank you to all of you who listened to us here tonight. We will be doing our July 26th program here tomorrow, the Liberian community of Indiana. A son of Nima and his Stone, a very die-hearted member of the Congress for Democratic Change, wanted to be the guest. And I am told the Minister of Youth and Sport, Colonials, Wakarekura, will also grace the occasion. So we are hoping to have a very fruitful occasion tomorrow. And we'll also be bringing you the live coverage of those happening here tomorrow. We'll have our show, and we'll also have those live coverage before it starts in the evening hour. So on this note, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for your time here tonight. It has been a pleasure. Please keep following us, and like I always say, you're not seeing us every day. That does not mean that we are mad on what we want to do. It is the schedule, and like I always say, we need co-hosts for this show. We need women, all ladies. But it's quite frustrating that those ladies from Twah River, they didn't want to come on this show. Those ladies from Twah River, they didn't want to show face. I know they're afraid of camera or they're afraid of what. I don't even know. But if you are a permanent, if you are a Twah River citizen, whether in Liberia, outside of Liberia, and wants to join this, you are free to join. The floor is open to everybody. So thank you all for your time here tonight. Guys, willing, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.